So there I was in the 3rd grade in Dale City, Virginia, by the way. I was in Miss Kurtz's class. Now, Miss Kurtz was my fantasy teacher. Don't judge me, by the way. Don't judge me. Although I was in the 3rd grade, she was the one I was in love with all over the place. Now, on this particular day, it was different. On this day, I was coming to the front because she had said, hey, I need you to come to the front and talk about what we just read. So I don't know if you remember in the 3rd grade, you would read a lesson. After you read the lesson, somebody had to come to the front and talk about what the lesson was. Well, that person day was me. And everybody was laughing. Now, I was used to this because every time I came to the front since the 1st grade, the class always laughed. But this was a little different. This felt a little different. On this day, Mr. Kurtz said, come with me. Now, I was in front of the class. I could see the words. I could hear the words in my mind, but I couldn't get the words out. So we go down to the principal's office. We're sitting in the principal's office. That day I had to wait a couple hours because they called Mother Dear up. Now, just so you know about Mother Dear is was a bishop of a Pentecostal church. My church only had 35 members, 25 kids. Don't judge me, by the way, it's a Pentecostal church. That just means I got into a lot of trouble for a long time. That's all that means. So when they called her and she was coming up, she came there and the counselor, Miss Rowland, looked at her and the principal and said, Che, my name is Che. Everybody says Shay, which is fine. You can call me Shay, but my name is Che, by the way. She says, Che has a severe stuttering problem. We're going to put him in that, well, this is being recorded. I can't say it in these times, but that other class. Anybody remember that other class that everybody talked about? The class that well, we're not going to say who they are, but they go to that class. I was like, oh my gosh, I was horrified. I'm going to be in that class. So later that evening where we're home, and this is the point, this is the message of the story I want to tell you, we're at dinner. Now, we didn't have dinner at a table like most folks, by the way. I'm just sitting on the couch eating, and Mother Dear comes and has a seat next to me, and she says, you know, these are the words I remember. I'll never forget these words for as long as I'm alive. I'm 57 now, by the way, and I still remember it as if it was yesterday. She said, Che, you don't have a severe stuttering problem. Now, I'm thinking to myself, well, the day didn't go well, right? Sitting home at the principal's office, and now I got to go to class that everyone's going to be laughing at me all the time about. But on this day, she says, no, you are just smarter than everyone else. Your brain is moving so fast, you know what you're saying, they don't. And so she encouraged me to keep talking. She encouraged me to keep going. She encouraged me not to shut down. The point in the message of that story is sometimes you need someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Jot that down in your notes. Sometimes you need someone else to hold the belief for you until you get there. And Mother Dear held the belief for me. Do me a favor. Turn to the person next to you. If you're online, you can turn to the person next to you and tell them, I believe in you. Just turn to that person, I believe in you. And then turn to that person and say, I believe in you as well. And then say, I believe in you. And then point someone else and I believe in you. And I believe in you and you and you. No matter what's going on, no matter where you are in the world, where you've been hit with the punch you never saw coming, or you're on the rise and moving up, the one thing I believe is whatever your number one goal when you show up at the LinkedIn networking, whatever your goal is, I believe it's possible for you. Go ahead and jot that down in your notes. It is possible. You see, the number one challenge facing entrepreneurs today is not having enough revenue inside of their business to execute the vision they have for the people they were called to serve. So they've got this vision, but they don't have vision maybe to leave their 9 to 5. That could be a problem. They don't have enough revenue to hire an assistant. That could be a problem for you watching by it right now. They don't have enough revenue sometimes, although they're doing really, really well, to hire their own project manager, their own design team, maybe their marketing team, or even hire the consulting firm they know will take their business to another level. If that sounds familiar to anyone in the room, just shake your head and say, oh yeah, don't do that. Just say, oh yeah, okay. So I'm with the right people at the right time. If you're watching, shake your head as well. Say, oh yeah. My number one outcome today, I only got one outcome. My number one outcome today is to share our evergreen revenue model to help your business generate an extra $100,000 and above over and beyond whatever you earn today on a monthly basis by having a powerful sales team, because I believe that sales is, and put this down in your notes, put this in your notes, sales is the oxygen for every great business in history. And without sales, there's always more money going out than there is coming in. There's always more money going out than there is what? Coming in. So selling is serious, serious business. For all the CEOs that are watching right now, sales is serious, serious business. So if you can't focus on sales, You just can't be in business. And I understand you're already doing all the right things. I understand you're already working hard. I understand maybe you're already posting and people are liking and you're getting followers, but yet they're not the high ticket clients you want. Perhaps right now you've already read all the books. You've been to all the classes. And in fact, you got a bag full of stuff at home or on your hard drive, and it does work. But how many believe, by a show of hands, that you have the potential inside of you to perform at a much higher level than whatever level you had and say yes? Yes. So we all know we can perform at a higher level. So I know I'm at the right place with the right folks at the right time, and that is my number one outcome. You know, the Small Business Association, called SBA, says that 95% of businesses never reach $1 million. We're talking about in sales. I'm not talking about being profitable. Profitable means revenue expenses. I'm talking about just in sales. And of that, the 2% that's left over, only a small percentage of them in their business get to $100,000 in a year. And I know what that's like because I've been there. I'm just like many of you, where you have the right heart, you know what you're doing, but the one combination to the code you want to crack is sales. And what held me back for so long is I believed that sales was negative. Sales was a negative thing. Sales is about influence and convincing, and that isn't the case. Jot this down in your notes. It's just 3 words. Put this down in your notes. Selling equals service. Put that in your notes. Selling equals service. Selling equals service. Selling equals service. Selling equals what? Service. So we're not going to worry about trying to sell people anything. We're going to just focus right now, really at the end of the day, on what? Serving. So I know what that's like. When I got started, my undergraduate degree in finance from Morgan State University didn't stop me from filing myself in bankruptcy, right? My MBA from Johns Hopkins and all the corporate world I did didn't stop me from having my home repossessed or my car taken away from me. I remember my car when it was taken away from me, I was working hard, just like everybody else, okay? And how we got there, just for those that don't know me, some of you are meeting me for the very first time. And some of you, well, you know, you're like family. Welcome back. If you're watching, this is always a pleasure to have you here as well. But for those that don't know, a little bit about me. I'm a native Washingtonian. I've only worked for 2 companies my entire career, because I don't want y'all to think I was always the Shea Brown you see here, by the way. I worked for Citibank after undergraduate. Went to Morgan State University. Shout out to all HBCUs, by the way. Went to Morgan State University. And then I worked for Citibank. And then after that, I finished my graduate degree. I went to Johns Hopkins University. I worked for Verizon for the next 9 years. And I didn't do sales. Never did sales in my life. I was a finance guy, by the way. I was very, very happy. You ever been doing something and been very, very happy? Like, life is just fine. You're like, this is the way it should be. Rising up, I was a director. Life was good. And then one day, I got a knock. My senior vice president wanted to see me. Now, I'm used to this. I mean, we've been laying people off. I'm at MCI. The WorldCom had crushed. We were falling down pretty fast, so we're going to lay some people off. This time, Perry, if you're watching, you know you did this. Perry looked at me and he said, we got to let you go. And if you ever been hit with a punch you never saw coming, how many have had something happen to you that was a shock you never saw come by a show of hands? Don't say what it is, but you've been there, right? Whether you've been to the doctor and there was some news, whether it was through your finances, I was shocked. I was devastated. And as I was driving home that day, after they had escorted me out, you know, you're in a bike like that, they kind of escort you out. It's pretty cool. It's not bad. They just escort you out. And I said, man, some of my homies have their own company. I had an idea. I was going to start my own company. You ever had an idea you got so excited about? I was excited about it that even I went down to Kinko's, had some business cards made, didn't have a plan. I need to talk about having a plan. That wasn't Shea Brown. I ain't had no plan, by the way. I just hung my shingle out the door and called myself Coach Shea. That sounded good, didn't it? Everybody else was a freaking coach. Why can't I be a freaking coach? So this was in May 31st, 2004. Long time ago. So I was ready to go. Figured I had a 401k. Don't tell Wendy this. Don't tell Wendy this. I had a 401k. I know I was good. I had a severance. I knew I was good. And I got started. I had all that it took. How many had a plan and understand that the best intentions don't always equal the best results? Put that down in your notes. The best intentions don't equal the best results. People want to lose weight every day. People want to be healthy. They want to do a lot of things, and it never happens. But I had the best intentions. And then after 90 days in business, I was tired, I was frustrated, and in short, I was out of money. Hence, I learned the golden rule in business. Put this in your notes. The golden rule in business, It's never out of money, right? It's never out of money. That's the golden rule in business, because I was by then burning through my 401k. By then, my second wife, don't judge me, by the way, don't judge me. I wasn't even 30. Don't judge me. My second wife decided, I'm out of here. It's my fault. I take full responsibility. I was burning through the credit cards, spending money, doing things I shouldn't be doing, I'm sure. And so now, don't judge me. I was a young man then. That was back when I was young. I'm now married again on my third marriage. Give me a hand on my third marriage. All right. 16 years. It took me 2 times to get it right. But hey, there's always an opportunity. It ain't never too late, baby. You're never too old to be a child again. So I'm a child in this marriage. But anyway, that's not the point. It's not about me. It's all about you today. It really is. But I have to let you know the story, because when she left, my 2 sons decided they wanted to live with me. That's not normally how it works, right? Normally the kids go with the mom, you pay your child support, do your thing. Now I have 2 boys. I'm burning through my 401k. Don't judge me. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. I'm betting on myself. You ever double down and bet on yourself? Yeah, and I was losing, by the way. And then there was a knock at the door. When I knock at the door, my sons come run up steps. Dad, someone's still in the car. You know where this is going. I run down the steps, I look out the window, and there's my Lexus truck. I love that Lexus truck, by the way. It's a white Puro truck with leather seats on it. It was nice. It's not funny. It's not funny. Kevin was out there, and Kevin was taking the truck. Now, normally Kevin would knock at the door and say, hey, Shay, you want to get some stuff out? But he had been so many times. Don't judge me. Don't. Now, it's really going to affect my self-esteem up here. This is a real friendly audience, I promise you, if you're watching. They really are friendly. But it does affect my self-esteem. But he didn't do that day. And then I hit rock bottom. And have you ever found yourself at a point that's so low, you're just not sure what you should do? I call it the never again moment. I want you to look at yourself right now. Just take a minute and look at yourself. And ask yourself, what was your never again moment? That moment you told yourself that never again would you find yourself in this relationship. Never again would you find yourself finding yourself talking to, I don't know, your boss about this situation. Never again would you find yourself whatever your never again moment was. And I decided, well, there had to be a turnaround at some point. That was a defining moment. We all have those defining moments. In this case, I decided to do something that was different. I decided I was going to go to this guy named Eric Lofholm's class. I got this email. This is back when we didn't have social media. And he was teaching people how to build their business. And so I did the next best thing. I went to a family member. Don't judge me, my brother. I know he always says he's never got his money. And I borrowed $5,000. $5,000. Now, $5,000 today is a lot of money. But in 2004, it was really a lot of money. It's not a lot of money like it is back then, by the way. He thought it was never a get-rich scheme. You're going to go to someone else to try to figure this out again? But he gave me the money, right? He bet on me. So I went out there, and Eric Lofholm, his name out in California. I share this story always because, sometimes you need someone to work with you to help you get somewhere faster, easier, with less effort. And that's what we're going to do today. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I'm going to get back to how to build a 7-figure sales team in a moment. But I just want you to know the story. And when I was out there, he's the one that said, Shay, why don't you focus on sales? Because without sales, you can't be in business. I said, well, I'm a business consultant. Had my little card and everything, but no one was hiring me. No one was doing anything. And that's when he said, selling is all about service. And in that moment, sitting in a very small, intimate room, only about 5 of us there, by the way, small, intimate room, I decided, you know what? You talk about mindset. I decided, Shay, don't chase the money. Just focus on adding value. Put that down in your notes if you're an entrepreneur. Don't chase the money. Add value, and the money will chase you. Just focus on one thing. Put this in your notes. Focus on one thing. How do I best solve a problem for this person? And that's it. So I'm going to focus on solving the problem. You might say, Shay, why? What's the big why behind that? Put this down in your notes. Because people will pay you today if you help them solve a problem today. We're all in the problem-solving what? Business. Everyone says problem-solving what? Business. So we're going to solve a problem. So that was my big turnaround. That was the change. And that allowed me to develop my own philosophy, which is systems beat goals every single time. Put that down in your notes. Systems beat goals every single time. It was all about having a sales system that will allow me to do the things I need to do. Now, you think about that. Shay, that sounds so easy peasy. But you think about it. Think about your own neighborhood. I'll just pick a burger shop. Right? Maybe it was like mine. There was a burger shop, maybe in your town or a local place you love to eat, and there was just one shop. And everyone went to that one shop for the burger, because the burger was the best burger in all of the maybe state. In that fact, there was always a line around the door. It was always crowded, but everybody went there to get that one what? Burger, because it was good. Where she's at now, I know burger's not good for you, but it wasn't a plant-based burger. It was a burger, you know, with cheese on it. But you think about it, there's another company called McDonald's. Now, when you go back home, that same company is probably there, one store, one burger, one fries, and everyone is still going there. And there's another company called McDonald's. And we would all agree that McDonald's doesn't have, well, it's recorded, but some would agree it doesn't have the best burger in town. Would you agree? It doesn't have the best burger. And it's not even good for you. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not even good for you. I'm not sure how much sugar on those fries, but I know one thing, it's not good for you. We all would agree on that. But yet, they're a $1 billion company all over the world. What's the one reason? Put this down in your notes. They have a system. The only difference between that burger shop at home and maybe you as an entrepreneur not getting to maybe $100,000 a month or $25,000 a month, whatever your belief is, and that other burger not getting to $1 million is a what? System. So now let's talk about in the next couple of minutes the system that you can have right now in your business for your sales department. And now I'm going to share how to build a 7-figure sales team. Now, we're not going to play games. I don't have time to raise hands. I don't have any chocolate. I don't have no Tootsie Rolls or Tootsie Rolls or anything like that back up here. So I'm going to just share some real ideas that'll put real money in your pocket. Is that okay? Say yes. Yes. That's all they want is just a little money. Ching, ching. Everybody say ching, ching. Ching, ching. That sounds good. As an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, you want either ching, ching or click, click. That means money just went to the bank account. You know how that works. That's a good feeling. So let's talk about how to build a 7-figure sales team. And I want you to ask yourself right now, if you were to build, as the CEO, I'm only talking to the CEOs, all the motivational folks, y'all can just step to the side. I'm only talking to the entrepreneurs. I'm only talking to the CEOs. I'm only talking to those folks who are serious and motivated about having a change in their business and focusing on the sales department for the moment. And I'm talking to y'all as CEOs. Y'all CEOs of your life. And let's say if you were to go to your sales department right now and say, look, we got to get to $1 million a year. And I want to build a 7-figure sales team. Where would you start? You can even type in ChatGPT, AI, and ask it what it would do. And it might not give you this right here, what I'm about to share. You know why? Because we're still creative, even in this world of AI. I love AI. But the difference between the reason people buy from you, according to Shea Brown, put this in your notes, they buy for 2 reasons, I believe. Number one, they buy for your perspective. They can't get your perspective from AI. They can only get your perspective from who? You and your experience. They get the information from anywhere, but your perspective, that's what they want. And number two, the possibilities of what can happen over and beyond. I want you to imagine for a moment, put this in your notes, that you do generate an extra $100,000 a month over and beyond whatever your business is generating right now, because you, the CEO, decide to focus on the sales department, because if you can't focus on sales, I said earlier, you can't be in business. What would you do with the money? Go ahead and just jot it down. You know, just an extra $100,000 a month. You've given yourself a raise as the CEO. What would you do with the money? I'm not going to ask you, but I want you to write it down. Maybe you just pay off all your debts. Maybe you just pay off the house. The house is now paid. Maybe you put money away for retirement. Maybe you would send your kids to a school of your choice, or your grandkids. Now I'm old enough to have 2 grandkids. You want to have something socked away from them. Or maybe you would just step back and say, Shay, I'm going to write a check for the causes I believe in. There's some causes you believe in. And you're like, I can't be there, but I can finance those who want to be there to make sure this cause is taken care of. That's the seriousness of the conversation we're having now. Now, money may not be everything, but when you have more money, you can have more meaning. When you have more income, you can have more impact. And how many want to make $1 and a difference at the same time? Say yes. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the 5 steps of a 7-figure sales team. Put these down in your notes. I'll go pretty quickly. And for those that are like, Shay, I just want to get the whole thing. I want the CEO sales playbook. I want that, Shay. I want to make sure I have the full training that can help me. There's no cost. We got a CEO Secret Society. I'm going to open it up. There's no cost to be behind the scenes. It's all online. You have access. Here's what you can do. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. But I want you to have it. Go ahead and do this right now. You're going to text the word CEO. Now, I'm going to give you this number, and you're going to text it. And if you got to hold this long-lost video file because you're not in this room, it's on the honor system. You got 5 minutes to do it. Here's the number to text. You're going to text the word CEO to this number. When you do, it's my personal cell, okay? I have fancy machines, and I got all the toys, as many of you know. But I'm going to make sure that Lauren sends you the link to get into our CEO Secret Society. We open it up. It's a $15,000 thing, but it's no cost for anyone in this room. It's a lifetime. That's my promise to you. And inside there is how to build a 7-figure sales team laid out so you and your team can handle it. Here's the number to text, because for some of you, this is the missing piece. And I'm glad you're here. Boom, the linked up networking. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to give you some value. Here's the number, 202 270-1662. Now, don't write it down. That's so 1980s, okay? So 1980s. So just get your cell phone out, and you're going to text this number. I'm going to give you opportunity. If you're watching, I'm going to slow down, and then we're going to speed up, okay? I'm going to slow down. Here's the number, 202. Just then, put it in your phone, 202-270-1662. Now, that's the number. Now, when you do that, you're going to put the word CEO. It's only for the CEOs. It's not to be motivated, not to be inspired. It's not for all the other things you need in your life. This is just for the folks that need to make money for the sales department, okay? Include your first name so I know who you are. I'm requiring that. So you got to put your first name, your last name, and your best email. I'm requiring that, by the way. I'm requiring that because, we want to know who you are. So now you're going to text that. When you do it, you're going to get a special link from me, and that link, you'll just click on it. That'll take you right into our online platform. Oh, we're so glad to have the CEO Secret Society. I'm so excited about it. No cost for any of you. And you have access to that. And man, all the training that we have in there, we do a business case every morning. There's over 400 business cases in there. For many of you, this is what you all been waiting for. Okay. What will you receive? The CEO Sales Playbook and the CEO Masterclass that we did on how to build a seven-figure sales team. 202-270-1662. First name, last name, best email, and the word CEO. All right, with that being said, I'm looking forward to connecting with you, by the way. Here are the 5 components of a seven-figure sales team. As you all are texting away, you online, you might be doing it as well. I told you I was going to slow down for a second. See, I didn't forget you. I got to go fast now. Okay, number 1 is you must hire a sales rep. Put that down, a sales rep. Now, the sales rep works on 100% commission. There's a lot of ways to pay a sales rep, as you know, a lot of ways. But I'm going to say this guy, they're going to work on 100% commission. That means they only get paid when you get paid. Does that make sense? And I want you to imagine right now, you look in your own business. Now, you're the CEO. You should be the number 1 salesperson, okay? It's your freaking vision. You signed up to save the world. You want to go out there and do this. It's your thing. So we expect you to do what you do. But I want you to imagine, did you hire a sales rep on 100% commission? Now, somebody might be saying, Shay, I don't have it. I can't. I mean, you don't know where I'm at right now. Get it. Let's just do the math for a moment. Do the math. I got an invisible board here, invisible. So let's imagine that you make $20,000 right now as you, the number 1 salesperson for your company, whatever your number is, and you bring in a sales rep, and they bring in $20,000. Have we got that? They brought in how much? $20,000. And you agree to give them a 20% commission. Just make that number up. It could be higher, it could be lower. So 20% of $20,000 is how much? $4,000. So your company gave $4,000 to someone when you weren't there. You were sitting in this room right now. You were watching this training right now. You were not there. Your labor was not involved. Everyone put this down in the notes. The answer to who don't have to be you. That's something I want you to think of as a CEO. I'm only here representing the sales department today. I'm not here representing the motivation department and the branding department and all these other departments. I'm only saying what the sales department needs. We need a sales rep unless you're going to do it all yourself. And if you want to have a job, that's fine. Now, you didn't get in this business to have a job. So now there's $16,000 left over. So if there's one goal you put down, you leave the LinkedIn networking conferences, I'm going to hire me a sales rep. Don't worry, for those that texted in earlier, we'll share with you how you can hire them, where you find them. There's no cost. That's my promise to you. That's pretty cool. Number 2. So number 1, you need a what? Sales. I'm so glad you're taking notes, by the way. This is great. Number 2 is a sales affiliate team. Now, the sales affiliate team is a little bit different. You might say, Shay, how in the LL Cool J is the sales affiliate team different than the sales rep? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you're here. The sales rep is 100% commission. They understand all your products and services. You bring them on the team. There's an onboarding process. They're all in. Does that make sense? The sales affiliate team, they're mercenaries. They're only in it for the money. But they're in places and spaces you're not. They're driving traffic to your website when you can't. They're in networking rooms you aren't there. And they understand only 1 or maybe 2 of your products or services. Now, I don't have to give you any examples. We can look at Apple. I believe that God is a woman. Who else would create the iPhone or the Apple product, right? No one else created but a woman, right? But if you go into an Apple store, case study, Apple only produces 30% of the products that are in there. The other 70% of their revenue comes from affiliates. Does that make sense? Offering other people's products and services. So I want you to think about your own business. Jot this down in your notes. This is golden. You don't have to be the answer to all of your clients' problems. It's just as profitable to be the bridge. And some of you can just be the bridge from, if someone's a coach and you have a website and you're now have an affiliate, you're now referring clients to them. My number 1 goal Because our company is collaboration crushes competition. Put that down in your notes. It's all about collaborating. So I want you to think about your own business. You can have a sales affiliate team. We'll talk about the software you can use and all that other stuff later. But make a commitment today. That's another way. Number 2, you can have coming in. Number 3. What was number 1? What was number 2? Okay, good. Number 3 is a digital sales solution. Now, a digital sales solution is a little bit different. This is how you generate revenue online when you're not there. This is the sales funnel that works. Recently, I was working with a client, and this was during after COVID. They had the PPP money. For those that don't know, maybe you're watching somewhere else in the world. That just means the government gave a lot of money to companies to have their stuff in order. That's the bottom line. And they had a whole lot of money. And in that money, they had spent over $40,000 marketing, running ads, and all the stuff in the self-education industry, which is pretty cool. They called me up and said, Shay, we're not making the sales. The website wasn't converting. So this is her digital sales solution, not converting. Some of you might have a sales page up, looks good, and maybe someone isn't buying. So I said, okay, they invited me to a Zoom meeting because we couldn't do like we're doing now. Remember, it seems like so long ago the world was closed. Gosh, it's just yesterday, but man, we couldn't do this. But anyway, I was on a call. I was with a bunch of folks. They didn't look like me, but I was there because she brought me there, and I showed up. And they said, sir, you get a chance to look at the website, the sales page, which is the website. I said, yeah. I said, the good news is I'm going to save y'all $50,000. They all had to look on their face. Oh, God, you just have too much energy here. No, seriously. The better news is you don't have a sales problem. So the guy is on the call. What we do, that's one of the reasons why Cheryl wanted to have you here today. We've been doing the marketing. We've done the research. All this good. I said, no, seriously. I've looked at the webpage. And here's what you should do. It's just one problem you have. The problem you got a lot of traffic going there. They had over 20,000 hits and so forth, is that you have the price on the sales page. And the old way of doing it back in the day was you would have a sales page like this and put all the pricing down and someone would click it. But the problem with that is if no one was buying, you didn't have the information. And we're all data gangsters first. I mean, I'm in business. If anybody knows me, I'm a lead generation machine. We are lead generators first. As a CEO, your number one job, well, I won't get into that later, but your number one job is getting in front of people who have a problem. That's your only responsibility. And if you're not doing that, the second job is to find a way. So I said, you've got these people, but now there's no way to follow up with them. Simple idea. And it wasn't my idea. Digital sales solution. Take the price off. Because I said, what's the purpose of the sales page? To sell the product. You know, he was just so funny. I mean, he was just mad at me. And I said, no, this is the old way. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we're here. The purpose of the sales page is to capture the information for those who have an interest, want, or desire. Then they leave that page. This is the new way. And then they go to a checkout page, which really describes how the product solves the problem. You bring what? The value in. Now, if we do that, at least we can have an abandoned cart funnel. That means someone didn't buy, we can follow up with them. We can call them, we can email them, we can market them. That one idea produced them over $100,000 that following year. Not because of Shea Brown, it wasn't brilliant, but you look at your own sales system. One of the benefits folks that texted in CEO earlier is we'll do a sales audit of your sales funnel, and we might have a few suggestions. And how many ideas do you need to change your life? One. Everybody say this with me. One good idea, implement it, is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. You only need one. That one company is a big change. I can go on and on, but I won't. All right. Now we got digital sales solutions. What was number one? I lost my place. What was number one? Okay, what's number two? What's number three? Good, we're almost done. Okay, good. Now if you're just tuning in, you're just watching like, Shay, I need to get all this. I need to build my sales department. Just text CEO to 202-270-1662 and your first name, and we'll send you the link. You can get all the notes. Number 4 is you need a sales ambassador team. A sales ambassador team. That might already be happening naturally for some of you. See, the sales rep works on 100% commission. Got it, Shay. Sales affiliate, they're mercenaries. They're out there saying, hey, if you got something that can help my people, great. I want to be part of the transaction. The digital sales solution is everything that's happening when you're not there. That's some you not there revenue. That's always good money, by the way. And then the fourth one we're talking about now is really the sales ambassador team. The sales ambassador team, these are people who believe in your mission, goals, and objectives. They're probably already in your inner circle, right? They can't be motivated by money, but they believe in what you're doing. They're motivated by two things. Put these 2 R's down in your notes. They're motivated by rewards, to like to be rewarded, and number 2, recognition. You know, if you've got a cause you believe in, you've got this movement going on, and they're part of it, and they've recommended people to your event, or they've been there and pushed your book out there, whatever it is you have out there, they're like, man, I'm doing something good in the world. This is my big give back. That's the sales ambassador team. And you have an opportunity right now, it doesn't cost you a dime, to go out there and put together your what? Sales ambassador team. And the last one, the time I have, the last one is just the sales cheerleader. The sales cheerleaders, these are customers who already have used your products and services. And you have a systematic way, because systems beat goals every single time, of using that inside your sales funnels, inside your sales department, because all you need is a sales strategy, a sales structure, and a sales system. Put that in your notes. It's a sales strategy. There's multiple ones. Sales structure, that's how it all comes together, and the sales system, which is one of the things you'll get when you get the CEO Sales Playbook. I close with this right here. There I was running a Marine Corps marathon, and I'm running a marathon. I'm excited, by the way, because I'm only running a marathon down in Washington, D.C., my first marathon, because Oprah Winfrey had run the marathon. And I said to myself, if Oprah Winfrey can run a marathon, well, gee whiz, Shay Brown can certainly run a marathon. I was a young whippersnapper back then. Don't judge me, don't judge me. I was really young back then. But I said, I'm going to do this thing. I don't know if you've ever been to a race before. But in Washington, D.C., 25,000 folks lined up out there. They got the military and other folks out there. It's a big party. So I'm out there running, and we get started. I'm and I'm slapping hands and doing like this. I'm really excited. And then all of a sudden, as we're coming up on mile 17, we hit mile 17. Boom! I hit mile 17. And I hit the wall. Now, if you don't know what the wall is in a marathon, that means you can't go any further. You got to sit down and you got to stop and you've got to rest. And you think about whenever you hit the wall in your life, what you had to do. When I hit the wall, I stopped. Maybe you kept going. And I started looking at other people. Have you ever looked at someone else doing something you wanted to do? And you see them going by? You're like, no way they're doing it. Then I see someone else go by. They can't still be in here. So I decided to get back in the race. Maybe you've done that. And I put one foot in front of the other foot in front of the other foot. And I just got started. And I was able to walk. And I finished the marathon. Give me a hand. I finished. Jesus, yeah, I finished. Yes, I'm so excited. 5 hours and 52 minutes. Didn't beat Oprah's time. Her time was 4 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? But we all said we had the potential and size to perform at a higher level. This is the point of the story. I went back and decided to go back in the race again. You ever decided you're going to get back into something after you failed? And this time I got with a team. There was a running team. And in this running team, they had a coach. They had a team that was with them. Put this in your notes. Success is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. I don't know who's on your team. Maybe you don't have a championship team. I look for a Hall of Fame team. I don't need a championship team. I need Hall of Famers. Does that make sense? Those are the best of the best. So that's where I went. These were runners. This is what they did. I got back in there. And on day one, they says, anyone having a problem? I said, yes, me. Mile 17. I don't know if I can make it past that. And she said, well, Shay, her name was Amy. Shay, when we get to mile 17, we're going to say, I'm trained, I'm strong, and I'm ready. And I said, whoa, we don't do that. I'm in Washington, D.C. That's not what we do. Trained, I'm strong, and ready. That sounds kind of corny. She said, no, seriously. So we trained. They gave us a nutrition. I went through the program. Put this in your notes. You got to put the reps in. You got to put the time in. And it doesn't matter what it is in life. I learned that lesson. Maybe that's a lesson we all can learn. So then we get to the marathon. I'm excited again, back in Washington, D.C. Oh, this was great. This is great. And I started running, and we were running. And then all of a sudden, we hit mile 17. And Amy, I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. And I'm a 9.5 mile runner. That's what that means. I run 9.5 miles. We run 6 minutes, walk 1 minute. That's all that means. And so we had about 14 of us in the group. And they all started saying, I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. And they tapped me. I said, oh my God. Tap. And then finally I started saying, I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. We finished that race. 4 hours and 37 minutes. I didn't beat Oprah's time of 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's okay. But I finished. My message to you is when you find yourself in a situation where life hits you hard, tell yourself, I'm trained, I'm strong, and I'm ready. Repeat after me. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. I'm what? I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. My name is Shay Brown. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. Make it a great day, everyone. Back over to you. Thank you very much. God bless.